work, but we're now on the road to Amarillo. Cue song. It's the way to Amarillo. Well, here we are in the centre of Little Rock, and we're on Broadway. That's looking back down a few blocks to where we're staying, and this is Broadway, which is the main street, heading towards a bridge over the Arkansas River, and behind these buildings here there's a park, so we're heading in that direction to have a look around. That's alongside the riverside, an old building here, but I have no idea what that is, so we'll see how we get on. Well, here's a view of the Arkansas River with some bridges going over it. On the other side is North Little Rock, which just seems to be kind of residential and domestic stuff. The main town is behind me. There's the river, more bridges. There seems to be a rail bridge. There's a couple of pedestrian bridges as well, and we're on a kind of river walk. Unfortunately, there's a road between us and the town itself, but well, we'll see. We'll have a wander along here and see what we can find. Well, this is a footbridge across the Arkansas River. It looks like it used to be a railway bridge with a section that lifted up, but now they've put lifts at each end, so you can get the lift up, walk across the raised section, down to the other section and across the river. And then there's another footbridge further on, I think. And so we've come up to the raised section of that bridge, and that takes us over the river, walk on the opposite bank for a while, and then come back over what is probably, or used to be, another railway bridge. So here's the gardens. There's lots of sculptures outside here, and that's looking back into the sort of town, the main town. We'll come over to the other side. You can see some of the stuff here, some of the skyline of Little Rock. There are some of the buildings, and there's a little tram going on a bridge. There seems to be a little kind of metro train that goes just on a short section, I think. What you might like to see this as well is that everyone's putting their locks along the railings here. We were told that the tradition is that when you get married or you make a commitment, you come here, put the lock on and throw the key into the river. He says, of course, some people hedge their bets and they actually use combination locks so that they can, if they change their mind, they can do something about it. But they're all along the railings here, as you can see. So who knows, that was another combination. In years to come, this might be quite a serious thing. Well, we just got to the end of the raised section of the bridge and noticed that there's actually a submarine down there. Razorback it says on it. I don't know if that's the name of the boat or the type of submarine, but it's obviously only a little one. Might get a closer look at it as we walk along the lower section of the bridge. Oh, there's a closer look at the submarine. I think it's called the Isabella Joe, and Razorback is just the kind of, you know, class of submarine it is. But again, it's quite a small one, I think, by today's standards. Well, interesting. There's actually a Turkish flag flying somewhere over there. Not sure what that's got to do with it. Well, we're recrossing the river now on the Rock Island Bridge, which I think again was an old railway bridge, and it has a raised section, which is why it kind of ramps up, I think. This side, which is North Little Rock, is not that pretty. I mean, right alongside us is an RV park, and you can see the other bridges, and then some construction stuff on the other side. So there's not a lot over here. And just at the end of that Rock Island Bridge is the Bill Clinton Presidential Library. So we think we're going to go in and have a look around, probably just have a coffee or something like that. We've been joking with people it's going to be quite fun when Donald Trump builds a presidential library. We're joking it's probably going to be full of comics and back issues of Playboy or something like that. Plus of course a printout of all his tweets, I guess. But this is the Bill Clinton one. in the place where he was governor. Well, we're in the library now, and we've had a guided tour on the top floor, and in here they've got a recreation of the Oval Office, as you would see it in the White House. I can't go inside because they only take professional photos in there. And this is looking down into an area of the library, lots of records stored, and there's kind of displays, one for each of his 8 years of office. Served 2 terms, 1993 to 2000. Here's a view of the bridge that we walked over to get to the library. On the tour we've just had, it was explained that actually the bridge isn't rusty, but to make it look as authentic as possible, they had to paint it as if it looked rusty. So the bridge has actually been totally refurbished and then made to look old again. This is a recreation of the cabinet room, I think, and the President's chair is apparently quite easy to spot because it's slightly bigger than all the others. So exactly as it was during Clinton's presidency. And this is the section where there's a plaque for each year of his presidency, and apparently in each year those are his daily agenda for each day of the year. So I'm going to have a look at what he was doing on my birthday at one of the years. So this is the April the 10th, 1994, my 50th birthday, and that's his schedule. Jog, church, White House, because it was a Sunday. Well, here's a slightly better view of the bridge that I mentioned has actually been painted to look as if it's rusty. And you can see the section that's raised up in the middle permanently, and this is on the terrace of the Clinton Library. So I'm just going to have a drink and then carry on along the riverway. We're on our way now from Little Rock to Memphis. We're taking one of the kind of smaller roads that's going parallel to the interstate, and we're going past what almost looks like a kind of mangrove swamp. It's just water and all these trees growing in the water. I don't know, I can't tell what my trees are, but wherever it is, they like growing in water. Just going over a river, and there's signs of an old railway bridge alongside us, similar to the ones we saw in Little Rock. Well, just out of interest, I thought you might like to see that we're going through a place on the way to Memphis called Palestine. So this is very typical of the places we've been going through. Since we're not going on the interstate, we're basically driving parallel to it. So this is the kind of stuff you get. Just a few shops, a road through the town, and that's basically it. It's been flat fields all the way, though some of them have been made into ponds where we think they are raising things like shrimp and stuff like that. But here we are. I think that's us having gone through Palestine, because the speed limit's gone back up again. Well, we are entering Memphis. We're just about to cross the Mississippi. We're in our kind of exit lane, and there's some views of the Mississippi and some of the skyline of Memphis. Including a pyramid over on the left.
We are now
in Tennessee. And This is our exit coming up.